Hello, this is Jack. Welcome to Geek's Perspective. This is Starcraft 1 Remastered Edition. Yeah, I know my office is a little messy. I really need to organize that and clean it, but as soon as I do, I turn around, it immediately is messed up again. So I've kind of given up. I've kind of wanted to do it some more. But anyway, this is part of the one-off series I'm doing. If you're interested in me continuing playing this game, just let me know. Leave a comment, whatever. Hit my Twitter up. But anyway, this one's going to be broken up into 3 separate videos, so kind of odd to call it a one-off series when I'm actually doing 3 separate videos, but I want to show you each of the races, because that's kind of a big deal. Starcraft, with this, actually did a story. Terran's first, Zerg, and then Protoss, and each one tells a continuing story of what's going on in what's called the Kuprelar Sector, which is like the first part of the galaxy that humans moved off of from the Origin system, as some other games have called it. We're going to start with the Terrans. I'm just going to do the first mission of each race, so you kind of get an idea of what they feel like. But as you go into the game, you get things like that giant battle cruiser that's right there. I don't know if the camera's going to be in a good spot. We'll see. But you do get aircraft, you get mech walkers. The game, as you go on, you continually evolve. There is a multiplayer side. I've never really dived into it because multiplayer strategy games especially, it's less about strategy and just who can produce troops faster, rushing. I'm not a fan of rushing. Now mind you, that's a legitimate tactic and all that good stuff. When you play hard mode in games like this, you kind of need to do that. I just don't like doing it. I like looking for weaknesses and defenses and moving on it and stuff. So the story side is plenty fine for me. And it's got a really good story. This first game, the first one, because there is StarCraft 2, which I will be doing later on, actually doesn't doesn't express its story very well. That's one of its few weaknesses, but it's legitimately a fun game regardless. And this is my first time playing the remastered edition. I don't know why the load screen is taking this long. It really shouldn't, unless I'm supposed to push something and I can't see it. Oh, okay. Can I just cycle pictures? Oh, cool, I can! Okay, so it's actually, oh, that's one of the things they did in the remaster. They actually tell you the story. Cool, pretty awesome.
Welcome to Marsara, Magistrate.
I'm going to skip the tutorial because I actually know how to do this.
You requested is...
So, but yeah, there's hero units and all that good stuff. Here's the actual one.
Adjutant online. Good evening, Magistrate. I'll fill you in on what's been happening. Confederate traffic has increased substantially within the system due to the recent Protoss destruction of the Chao Sara colony. The Confederates have tightened security on all outlying systems, and it's likely that this colony will be locked down as well. An encrypted Confederate transmission came for you while you were at dinner. Replaying transmission.
Greetings, Magistrate. I'm General Edmund Duke of the Confederate Security Forces Alpha Squadron. The Confederacy has quarantined this entire planet, and we'll proceed with a lockdown within 48 hours. You're to relocate your core colonists to the outlying wastelands. Now, I know there won't be any problems with these new arrangements.
Transmission ended. I have contacted the local marshal, James Rayner. Rayner has agreed to meet your personnel en route and escort them to the new wasteland site.
So the game treats you as if you're an invisible person, like you do exist. You're like this good strategist and all that stuff that everybody talks to, like their second in command who handles everything kind of thing. It's whatever. I'm not a fan of games that do that. All right, so let's see here. Okay, it's just telling me I can click. Oh, okay. I'm in the top right-hand corner, so I can't control it. And they do have missions like this where you don't control anything really off the start except for like a small squad. And they do a good job with it, like legitimately. Okay, so they're control the change. I'm pretty much just needing to do this. Let's see if I can tell it to attack. So, unless this trick has changed, if you go over here to the attack or press A and then click on a spot, they'll attack anything they encounter along the way. And for some reason, that SCV is deciding to go off on its own.
Orders received.
Oh, there's James Rayner.
Howdy, boys. I'm Jim Rayner, marshal of these parts.
There's some books for this game, too.
Rayner here.
And we just ran into Zerg. There's a story on actually why the Protoss, who aren't really that bad of a race. Why is it? Okay, it's... Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's the arrow keys to move.
Oh, yeah.
The WSD.
Reporting for duty.
Anytime you're ready.
So let's go ahead and start gathering resources. There's really only 2 resources you need to worry about, which makes this game infinitely better for me, in my opinion. Oh, there's no gas. Okay, I thought that was a gas station. It's you either do the crystals or you do the Vespene gas. There's technically a third one. If you look up on the right, there's the supplies, which each race has their own way of doing it. Terrans literally have like supply depots. Zerg you'll see later, and Protoss you'll see later. Protoss are kind of intuitive, and then Zerg is kind of intuitive too. All of it kind of makes sense. One of the things I really do enjoy about this game is they don't manufacture the races seeming different. They seem very intuitive as to why they're different. I need to start building more SCVs instead of just sitting here talking with you guys. Now, another cool thing is you can set a rally point so that they spawn wherever you want them to. Instead of circling around the building and blocking my supply guys, I think they'll just spawn right over there. And it's something I take advantage of, usually. I can't see my objectives behind my picture, and I'm going to kind of leave it that way. It's probably the best place for it. Alright, let's go into... Let's see if I can get my barracks built.
Not enough
a little short.
minerals.
And now I've got a... Cool. Go ahead and start building that. Unlike like civilizations, for instance, not civilizations, but Age of Empire, I can't apply, yet, I can't apply more units to building this. And Zane found one of his noisy balls. It's a little plastic ball, a bell in it. So, and your supplies can run out, by the way. That can die off given time. Mind you, they have a lot of slot in them, so it can take a little bit. Oh, this is one actually. Usually they're like somewhere in the thousands. This is like only 564, so I think it's expecting me to move. The cool thing is with Terrans, they're designed to move. I'm not going to do it right now because it'll mess up the intro, but I'll probably do it to the barracks when it finishes. But you can uplift the whole base, most structures, and move it. Supply depots cannot be moved. In the expansion, or sorry, in the sequel, you can do something that's like that, but it's not the same. I'll eventually get there and you'll see. Now, as always, if you are interested in me continuing to play this and play all the missions for this or something like that, leave a comment. I've got no problem doing it. My only thing is, around March, there's 2 separate games coming up that are going to become my main
Infantry
focuses.
units such as Marines can be trained at this facility.
So this is the barracks. This is where you make your most basic units. And take off. So you can do that with almost every unit and then move it as you please. I'm just going to put it right back where it was. So I can start building. And while it's in flight, it cannot do anything.
Reporting for duty.
It's pretty much the only... you know what? I can actually probably build a second one. I have a feeling I'm going to need it. Oh, no, I know what I'm going to need to build because it's going to start complaining at me. I'm going to build another supply
there.
Right there. And while I'm at it, I can build these.
You want a piece of me, boy, Commander?
Now, what's really cool is Blizzard games have a history of doing this, but if you keep clicking on the unit, they'll start saying funny things.
Give me something to shoot.
All of them will, including the heroes.
Commander, we gotta move. Are you gonna give me orders?
SCV good to go, sir.
God, he's wet. You want a piece of me, boy?
Some of them get really funny, like my favorite is there's the fire bats who have flamethrowers, and they say a really good line is, I sell propane and propane accessories.
Commander,
Oddly enough, I don't know if it was this game was made before or after King of the Hill, so
I read you.
I wonder if it was a coincidence or one picked it up from the other. It's just entertaining to me nonetheless. Now later on, you do get to upgrade your structures, and depending on the upgrades do not travel with you, unfortunately. So you might have to rebuild them, or you can move them back and forth between 2 different upgrade spots. But each one gives different things. I don't remember if the reactor is in this game or in the sequel, but the reactor allows you to build twice as many units at a time, so you build 2 instead of 1, and you can build up to 10. Queue up to 10. And then there's also like the science lab you get to do, which allows you to make more advanced units. Like in the expansion pack, there's the medic.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Like, it's been so long since I've played it, but it's really fun. And I won. That was really nothing, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and go into the next mission so you guys can see some combat. I forgot how quick the Terran one is, because it's your starter game. You guys didn't even see the Zerg, because I killed them almost instantly. There was like 1 or 2. So we'll go ahead and do this one real fast.
Receiving incoming transmission. Comlink established.
Hey, what's up, man? Got your refugees tucked in nice and tight? Provided you can sidestep any more surprises from our Confederate friends and we can keep them away from those critters, they should have an easy time.
Priority alert. Backwater station under attack by unknown alien organisms. Distress beacon activated at 0658. Alerting Confederate headquarters on Tarsonis. Stand by for incoming transmission.
We've already received the distress beacon from Backwater, and we'll take care of it. You just sit tight. You'll be notified if there's anything we think you need to know.
Edmund Duke is an asshole.
Damn.
But he's good at what he does.
If we wait for Confederate reinforcements, that station's dust. I'll head out there now and do what I can. You send in some militia, and we'll save those folks. Trust me.
So, I'm trying to remember which mission this is, because there's two separate missions. I know one of them... okay, it's this one. Okay. Because it's the next one... I'm going to get rid of it.
Glad to see you, boys. Time to kick some serious butt.
Because there's the sequel mission to this, where you... do I actually have anybody who can gather resources? Okay, there's two.
Orders, Captain?
And there is some gas up there, so I gotta take care of. Oh yeah, I could do that. What was I thinking of? That's gone now. Oh, the mission after this, you have to kind of run. You have to just survive for a length of time and then run away. Because there's just no chance you can win. Now, in reality, depending on your skill level and what you set the difficulty to, you'd be amazed what that retreat looks like.
Right away, sir.
Because the game cheats for that mission. It will randomly spawn bad guys for you to fight. There's Zane. It will just randomly spawn bad guys into existence instead of what the bad guys are actually producing.
Good to go, sir.
So, something you have to pay attention to. So here's the trick. Only one SCV can be inside the refinery at a time. And, so if you time it right, you can get an SCV coming out as one's going in. That's the optimal thing, because you don't want them sitting around waiting for their turn. And in theory, there's like a limit to how many can stand at a crystal. No, there's not. Because I remember I had like 50 in one spot. Not literally 50, it's like 20 still. That's a lot in one spot. So right now, I'm just trying to build up the resources so I can start moving. Probably a good place to start is just getting me a decent amount of SCVs. Now, if I was fighting somebody that was rather aggressive, sending patrol units or something like that, I'd probably want to also be building up some Marines. Among the earliest part of the game, I can get away with just doing the SCVs. And that's what I want to do, so I can start have a steady supply of resources, so I can have steady supplies for meat grinding that's going on. Now, because I do have the hero units in the story are always going to be colored differently. Technically, they're not on your forces until you meet them, but since they spawn next to you, you immediately collect them. There's actually a little ramp right there I can take advantage of. Oh,
I read you.
It's going to toss them into the work. Alright. Now, I'm not too worried about gas yet, because I don't think they're... Oh, they are giving me fire bats already. Okay, cool. So I got to build the academy for that. So you guys can see the fire bats. And not to mention, since I'm doing the academy, which is the upgrade building,
SCV good to go,
I'm going
sir.
to need the resources for that. So let's see here. Let's see, how many do I have here?
I read you.
Plus one, plus two. So five. Five doing that.
Orders,
Let's go ahead and have him go ahead and start
right
doing
away,
gas
sir.
too. I said I wasn't going to worry about it, but I lied.
SCV good to go, sir.
Yeah, we're about to reach the point where I can start building up the forces. I know this part's a little dry. This is the opener. And depending on how you do this part, it can fundamentally control how the rest of the game looks. If you don't take your time and do this correctly.
SCV good to go, sir.
With any strategy game,
I read
if
you.
you don't build a good infrastructure,
Affirmative.
it can mess you up. And if you don't learn how to guard that infrastructure, because someone rushing you, they're aiming to destroy your crafting units. They don't care about your soldiers. Your soldiers there are
SCV
just
good to
slowing
go,
down.
sir. I read you.
So
Orders
keep that in
received.
mind. Let's see. Do I have another? Let me pull one of these SCVs then.
Reporting for duty.
So I can have him start building something. All right. So what he's building right here is called the Academy, and it's another building that can fly away. I'm gonna have these units just do a little scouting.
Right on.
And Zane's walking through the camp. This is just fine.
Sounds
Zane's
fun.
adorable. He's been super loving lately. It's kind of interesting. Like, he just wants to be next to me and curl up.
This should be good.
That's the most basic unit of a Zerg.
Oh yeah.
They're evil. They're the definition of Zerg Rush. There's where the term comes from. When you make them, they don't just spawn in as one. They actually spawn in as two at a time. So, pretty much the only way to beat them is overwhelming firepower. You can't play weird tricks on them. You can't just...
Job finished.
There's just nothing you can do. So I'm gonna have me start upgrading my armor.
You want a piece of me, boy?
I did build the academy. Oh, that's the engineering. I actually built the wrong thing. Where is the academy?
I read you.
Oh, I'm probably gonna find one here in a minute. That's what's going on. Okay. They'll do that in some missions where you actually don't get the thing off the start. They'll
Want a piece of me, boy?
You'll find it in the mission. So I'm probably gonna find the academy. Probably a little. So I'm gonna go do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that with the soldiers I've got right now.
Anytime you're ready.
Keep having this built. I built my infrastructure up right, so I've got their.
This is Jimmy.
I've got their armor set to upgrade, so there's survivability. Okay, that's where the base is. I'm gonna back them up to.
Around there is alive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go through their base. I broke one of my rules just then. When fighting the Zerg, focus fire like hell.
Sounds fun. You want a piece of me, boy?
Go back to
Sounds
exploring
fun.
this way. I'm not gonna worry about that base just yet.
Right on.
This is probably a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it
This
anyway.
should be good.
So I'm starting to think I have to go through the base, and I could be mistaken.
Right on.
Alright. This is not a dead end yet.
Oh yeah. You want a piece of me, boy?
Alright, these little rocks here are gonna prevent
should
me
be
from
good.
building things. Oh, there we go. You don't get medics until the sequel, or the expansion pack, sorry. Which I do have. If you buy the remastered, you get everything. So let me go ahead and start grabbing these reinforcements. Move
Outstanding.
them on over. And continue building more. Once again, building a good infrastructure is amazing. I'm going to improve said infrastructure by building another barracks. By having a second barracks, I can build more soldiers at a time. Which means I also probably should build another supply depot once that
You want a
finishes.
piece of me, boy? This is Jimmy.
Optimally, depending on your strategy, you probably want... Okay, that's their second tier units, their first range.
Right on.
And I just bottlenecked where
Sounds
your
fun.
guys stopped at their maximum range and blocked a walking path that you would have used. Okay, so here's another place I could build a base if I wanted to,
Right on.
or pick up my current base and move it there.
Sounds fun.
Entirely up to how I feel at the time. Terrans have that advantage where they can do that. They
This
can,
should be good.
oh, I ran out of supplies in this spot, let me pick up and move. Once again, the only thing they're going to leave behind is their supply depots, and they're not expensive. These are like 50 resource to rebuild. And in the expansion, they have the ability to go underground. So, even if you left them behind, they're still there. And they can't be touched.
Go ahead.
But the other advantage is they stop blocking things. Or you can use them as a wall.
Raider here.
I've seen one or two players do that. It's
Job
annoying
finished.
because they're not that durable, but
I read you.
it's technically something you could do.
I can't build there.
Go ahead and move this, because that was actually a really bad spot. Let me move it. Let's move it right about
You want a
here.
piece of me, boy?
Once that finishes, I'll probably move it too. It's almost done. Everybody's armor's about to go up. And as you notice, it does move very, very slow.
Not enough
Ran out
minerals.
of minerals. Okay.
Raider here.
Was I building SCVs? No, I thought I was.
Upgrade complete.
This is Jimmy.
Just gave me an alert, so I'm gonna go ahead and move all the way back here. Okay, I think I'm supposed to go take out that little base that I just found. Which is good, because that means I can take these
Rock and roll.
Terran Marines that are
Job
finishing up.
finished.
Outstanding.
Heads up if you're playing this as well.
SCV good to go, sir.
The Vultures,
Go
which is
ahead,
what his
Commander.
unit is based on, moves faster than your foot soldiers. So he
I
will
read it.
outrun them and not me too. I know
Not enough
You want a
minerals.
piece of me, boy?
I know I said the only way to really beat a Zerg is Zerg Ling,
Yes,
or
sir.
Zergs in general is overwhelming
Roger that.
firepower. I am gonna have to move the base. Okay, so that's a thing. Which is quite a bit.
Raider here.
Give me a second. I want to go ahead and start.
You want a piece of me, boy?
So Zergs have the disadvantage; they have to build on what's called the creep.
This should be good.
Don't shoot yet. Shoot the bad guys. Shoot the units. They have to build on the creep. Which is all that purple stuff like that.
You want a piece of me, boy?
That is a disadvantage,
Stand it
but it's not
back.
that big.
Let's move.
Because it produces pretty fast.
I read you.
I'm just snap left 118. Okay, so I am definitely gonna have to move
Jacked
my
up and good to go.
base here in a minute, unless I find the other base, because there is going to be another base that's going to give me the ability to make fire bats.
This is Jimmy.
Yeah,
This should
here
be
it is.
good.
And a barracks. That's a barracks, by the way. You can put soldiers
Thanks
in
for
it
the rescue.
like that.
We've been holed up in these bunkers for days hiding from the Zerg.
Oh, yeah.
These things have been out here a while, but they could be pretty useful.
Alright, this is already proving very interesting to me.
Go, go, go. Rock and
I'm just
roll.
moving around, getting all the,
Right.
getting everything, these are fire bats.
Fire it up.
They're shorter range, but they have flamethrowers.
Order scouter?
If you build your forces right and you get like a bunch of fire bats surrounding a single unit like that, it can be pretty evil. I'm just watching for when this runs out. And then I'm gonna move my guys up to start gathering from that other resource spot. Because I don't want them just standing around.
I read you.
As you can see, they were all just in one spot.
Roger that.
And there we go. Now, in reality, I don't need to worry too much because I'm pretty sure my current forces are
Go,
strong
go,
enough.
go.
So, real fast, I want to show you this. So, barracks by themselves do nothing. They're just a building. But, I can take these fire bats and throw them inside. Now they're going to be protected by the building and be able to shoot out of it. And it doesn't have to be just fire bats. I can put Marines in there. You can also put your SCVs in there if you're under attack.
Yes.
And they,
Want to
and
turn
all
up the
that.
heat.
Now, in this one, there is a maximum squad size. In sequel, there is not. Expansion, there still is. But if I want my first squad, Control 1, used to.
Naturally.
It still does. Hang on.
Fire it up.
Okay, it still does. So I just selected this team as a single squad. And I'm going to do it
Naturally.
accordingly.
Let's burn.
Naturally.
Naturally.
But yeah, fire bats, they don't attack just the first unit. In front of them, they attack all of them in a line. So that gives them a good advantage to like Zerg.
Got it.
And once again, I can bottleneck with all those guys just standing at their maximum
Naturally.
range, blocking or walking. So
Slim.
you need to pay mind for that
shoot.
and act accordingly. Probably just make you guys take a couple steps forward. I'm not going to make any more fire bats, I just want some more Marine body doubles. Since I've got
Order
get you
scouter?
guys up there gathering resources too.
Orders received.
Now if that place runs out, then I will be able to
Want to turn up the heat.
move on to the next resource spot that I found earlier.
Want a piece of me, boy?
Because this is one of the earlier missions in Downfall, you can worry about that.
Piece of me, boy.
But the difficulty of the missions go up significantly as the game goes on. And there's a good chance that they introduce a unit to you, you're probably going to need it.
Let's burn. You got it. Let's burn. You want a piece of me, boy? You got it.
Oh, I know what I'm about to find. It just clicked in my head. I ain't gonna ruin the surprise because it's.
Naturally.
It helps you understand the fundamental thing about them.
Naturally. You want a piece of me, boy?
But I am gonna bring this up in the
Piece of me,
story.
boy.
Bit of
Naturally.
a spoiler. You actually don't spend a lot of time as Terrans
Commander.
fighting the Zerg. You actually spend more time fighting other Terrans. And there's a reason for that. It's actually a very good reason. But it
You
is...
want a piece of me,
I'm
boy?
gonna call it annoying. Because I find that fighting the Zerg hard.
Piece of me, boy.
I'm gonna start upgrading their gear a bit more.
Jacked up and good to go.
Now, I've been only moving with one squad, but you can move simultaneously in two squads. 1 and 2s. You can go all the way up to like I think 0.
You want a piece of me, boy?
I just haven't been bothering because that takes a lot
You
more attention than I'm really
You got my attention. Slammer, let's burn. Wanna turn up the heat? Let's burn. Naturally. Jacked up and good to go.
Your forces are under attack.
Outstanding. Jacked up and good to go.
They have the high ground.
Rock and roll. Go.
Which means your ground's maintenance. So you might want to move on up. Like you'll take some damage doing it. But go ahead and move on up to them.
Let's move. Go. Give me something to shoot. Standing by.
And if they see a bad guy, then just stand
Give me something to shoot.
attacking.
Outstanding. Rock and roll. Go. Let's move. Go.
There are flying units in this game. It's that you have this like starship that you can get later on in the Terran, or you do get later on in the Terran. There's actually stealth fighters.
Upgrade complete.
What the hell did they do to that command center? Rock and roll.
Zerger infestation. That's not meant as an insult. It's literally what they are. They take the genetic profile of whatever they encounter and then use it for themselves. If they haven't seen it, and once they've done it once, they can duplicate it infinitely. You find out a lot more about that. Actually, in number 2, not even in this game, you find out a lot more about it in number 2. But you do find out that they do infest Terran. They only care about certain Terrans because they care about the psychic ability of Terrans. The basic Terran that they that command center unit would have produced are self-destructive
Receiving
units.
incoming transmission.
Marshal Rayner, by destroying the vital Confederate installation, you and your men have violated standing colonial law. As of right now, you're all under arrest. I suggest you throw down your weapons and come peaceably.
Are you out of your mind? If we hadn't burned that damn factory, this entire colony could have been overrun. Maybe if you hadn't taken your sweet time in getting here.
Now, I asked you nice the first time, boy. I didn't come here to talk with you. Now throw down them weapons.
Guess you wouldn't be a Confederate if you weren't a complete pain in the ass.
So a bit of Jim Raynor's actual backstory, according to the books, unless they've retconned it. He actually used to be a Confederate officer, of all things. He was just a regular Marine originally. He's got a really good story. Kind of went AWOL. And was one of the first people to actually wear the mech suits that you see them wearing. He's a badass. Like, hands down, he's a badass. But the story's really good, actually. You're going to get to see a bit more of it. You're kind of get to skip ahead a lot. Unfortunately, I have to spoil a few things. Because if I'm playing Zerg, you're going to not know what happened in Terran side. And then if I play Protoss, you're not going to know what happened in either one. So, a bit of a spoilers, but I want you guys to see what the races do. Thankfully, the starter missions usually don't tell you much of the story. This was just kind of a hint. But a lot of the Terran story, spoiler alert, is you becoming a rebel to try and overthrow the Confederates. Because the Confederates, it's just the old government, the first one to rebel against the Earth Gov, which actually does come up in the expansion. So, I'm going to let you guys watch this real fast, and then I'm going to end the video. It's actually kind of funny. And sad. In the expansion, you kind of get a modified version of these trucks.
Hey, Sarge, why we always gotta listen to this shit for anyway?
Cause I'm in charge, that's why.
Oh, it don't seem like no good kind of reason to me. Hey, what's that?
Hold on a minute a second.
Now, we'd like them to do a Starcraft 3, but it took almost 20 years to make the 2.
Looks like you mashed some poor fella's dog, Sarge.
It's a Zergling, Lester. Smaller type of Zerg. But he didn't be out this far unless... Oh, shit.
I love you, Sarge.
Yeah, and the next mission is, I'm going to tell you now because you're not going to get to see me do it, because I'm going to stop here. But basically, you're trying to escape the planet, you're trying to get all the colonists off,
Receiving incoming
and the Confederates are
transmission.
refusing to.
Comlink established.
And the Confederates are refusing to help you. As you can see, as I said before, I'm going to do the Zerg video next, and then the Protoss, so you guys get an idea of what each race is like. Now, I'll probably talk to you about like kind of what each one gets later on, but you won't get to see it unless you guys want me to play. I will play all the way through, going through all the Terran missions, all the Zerg missions, and all the Protoss missions, if you want me to, and I'll do the expansion too. I'm going to do all 3 of these, and then I'm going to flip over and do the sequel, so you can see the evolution of the game, where the story, it's a lot more story based, and it's a lot more customized. Blizzard did a good job like learning what to do. This is why I was a fan of Blizzard for a long time. Incidentally, in the original lore of Overwatch, Diva actually made herself famous from playing Starcraft. She was one of the top Starcraft players in the world. So that's just a bit of lore, because they like to do a lot of those things. And you can save in the middle missions. You can also create custom maps. I don't know if there's an online presence anymore, but back in the day, which was Tuesday, you used to be able to go into the custom things and find some really interesting maps. Like people actually doing like the Dragon Ball storyline with you playing different units to represent different characters, and as they evolved, you would change into. That's just one example. There was another one where it was like an Axis and Allies game, or Risk even. It was really like some people were really effing clever with it. There's Cops and Robbers, where you were a cop or a robber, and then you would evolve your unit as you performed actions. It was just really interesting. It's legit. Like, once again, it's amazing what some people can create with this. But anyway, thanks for watching. I do recommend. It's like this cheap game. It's like $10-15 for the remastered edition, I think. And there's even a cartoony version you can do. I might show you guys that at some point, but I can't play with it. It just seems too weird. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is Jack, the Geek's Perspective. Please like, subscribe, and share.